Welcome to the Yogalebrity Podcast, your weekly podcast for yoga teachers. Yoga teachers, if you are wanting to level up, if you want to help more people, if you want to reach more human beings with your mission of yoga is love and happiness, and here's how to get there, then you are going to want to tune in to this podcast every single week. You are going to want to hit that subscribe button and give us a 5-star review because this podcast is 100% for you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's topic is super exciting. It is the future of teaching yoga in person, online, or hybrid. So I think this is a really exciting topic, and it was thought up by the lovely Justine, who you can see now has a new microphone. Yes. Say something, Justine.
I love it so much. This is what your 5-star reviews get us. New microphones.
I love that. You sound so good. You sound so good. You're also wearing headphones, which I'm not. I should start wearing my headphones. That's really
My apartment
smart.
is just super echoey. So if I don't have the headphones in, the echo happens.
Well, the only thing that I guess maybe for the quality of my side of the sound, but like there's no sound here. It's just my dog. So if he starts barking, but that's still the microphone going to pick that up. So that did happen recently. I was interviewing Tiffany and he started barking and I was like, shut up, stop barking. You know, he's just saving our house from the Amazon man. Thank God.
Oh, very important.
Very important. Very important. Anyhow, or like TikTok shop. I buy a bunch of stuff on there too. I've been getting this really great detergent called Mozi, Mozi, on TikTok shop. They're having like this special right now because, you know, it's the holidays. And so it's like a 2-for-1 kind of thing. And it's all like more natural, you know, and I like detergent is brutal. Like there's so many chemicals and everything that we eat and we put into our bodies, and it's just causing like all kinds of issues. And going through perimenopause right now, the hot flashes are real. And so I'm really trying to balance my hormones. And I think that, you know, detergents are a big part of that because our skin is our largest organ.
Yeah, and you absorb everything that's in your clothes into your skin.
Right? Totally. All right, well, let's dive into today's topic. I know you have some questions prepared, and I have lots I can say about this because I have taught in person for over 20 years and online now for 3 years. So, and I do a little bit of a hybrid. I don't teach very much in person anymore. I do a yoga retreat. I have, as of the time that we've recorded this, I have 5 spots open for my Sedona yoga retreat. So we're going to make sure to put a link below to the Sedona yoga retreat because that is a very small, intimate retreat that I'm doing in July and would love to have you there. It's just for yoga teachers. And Justine will be there. Francesca will be there. All the big hitters. We have professional chefs coming in and making the food. So it's going to be a very intimate, fun, and exciting experience. And then I recently did an Adjustments and Assist weekend intensive in Las Vegas. I have, I'm potentially doing an in-person yoga teacher training in Las Vegas in the spring. We'll see how that goes. I'm doing it in partnership with a studio and they have to hit a minimum for me to do it. So I don't know if they're going to hit their minimum or not. So we were talking about that. And otherwise, I teach every Saturday unless I'm traveling. I teach a regular class on a schedule, but otherwise everything I do is online. My day to day is online. I like would not even have to leave the house. The only reason I'm leaving the house today is to go to my trainer.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Who I met on TikTok. So, Perfect. Anyhow, so what about you, Justine? How much do you teach online and how much do you teach in person?
So I teach 2 classes in person per week, plus any other teaching things that I can get throughout the month. So sometimes I'll do extra weekend classes or go to different events that are retreats and teach 1 or 2 classes there. But I would say most of the stuff that I do consistently is online. Like, I have my YouTube channel. I'm putting out classes on there weekly. I'm putting out
Oh,
content
you
online.
are.
Yeah, well, weekly as of last month.
That's good though. That's good.
Yeah.
Now you're saying it, you're owning it. You're saying it, you're
Mm-hmm.
owning it. I'm doing it
Yes,
weekly.
I'm saying
Yeah.
it. I want people to subscribe to expect that weekly class so that I have to do it. My class for this week just came out yesterday, so go check that out.
Cool, cool.
But yeah, so I would say that what excites me the most right now is building that online world. I'm about to release my first low ticket course because I have my ebook that you know about because you were the one who had me create it. And then my first low ticket course is going to come out. It's available for pre-order. I'm just finishing up the content right now. And once I get that going, then my goal is that I can still have my in-person weekly socialization time because I do value that. I love the people who come to my classes, but to be primarily online so that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and no one else is telling me what to do.
This is your first time using a microphone like this, and I just have to tell you, you have to be much closer to it.
Copy. Let me
That's
get a
why
little.
I sit like very close to my microphone. My setup is very similar. I
Perfect.
Done is always more profitable than perfect. That's what I always tell everyone. But yeah, when you're using a microphone, you do have to be closer. But anyhow, the thing that I wanted to say to you is that I love that you're doing a weekly YouTube. I love that you've committed to that because the thing is, I was just talking to my coach about this today. People give up way too early. They give up way too early. And there is a phenomenal opportunity right now online that we never had when I started teaching. When I started teaching, it was really like a good old girls network, and you weren't going to get in anywhere unless somebody liked you, you know? And I always struggled with that in the yoga community because I felt like it shouldn't be about that. But it really was about that, And then, I worked at gyms because that was like the easiest place to get in. But I was very driven, like I walked into the gym with my resume and was like, I would like to work here. Do you have anything open? Who do I need to talk to? Like I didn't just bother with just applying online and then not getting a response. Like I went there and was assertive about it. And I will say that everybody I'd ever hired at my yoga studio who was not someone who graduated from my training, because I primarily only hire from my training when I owned the studio. And the reason why is because it's like a 10-week job interview. People take a 10-week teacher training and I get to really know them. And I'm like, I know if they're late. I know if the other clients get along with them. I know how they handle customer service issues. I know if they're easily frazzled. I know if they're going to create drama or not. Like I'm able to like figure those things out. And that's the thing I think people really did not understand when I owned the studio, that I make great teachers. My yoga teacher trainings are next level. Everyone that graduates from my trainings comes out and a phenomenal teacher. So I have a huge pool of applicants to choose from, right? When I'm picking from teacher training. So if someone is consistently late or they make problems for other people, even if you're a great teacher, that's meaningless to me because I have tons of great teachers to choose from because I'm an excellent trainer. And so why would I hire a diva when someone is going to take care of my clients? I would much rather hire them. Someone that's going to take care of my property. Someone who's going to be on time. I'm handing this person a key to my studio, So I need them to be on top of their stuff professionally. I need them to look a certain way. I need them to dress and clothes that are professional. Don't be showing up to my studio with a holey outfit. I don't care if you wear the same outfit every time, but it better look good. You don't have to be rich. You just got to be put together. But that's the thing is that, I would never hire anybody that didn't come from my training unless they came to my studio a lot and showed that they were really interested in it, and that they really liked it. Now, that's my philosophy. Not everyone is like that. The people who run my studio now are not like that. They have a different hiring practice, but that's not, they're also not nearly as successful at it as I was. Not trying to be funny, but I was like 5 times more successful than them financially. So, I think the way I do it works. I'm a very good business person. They'll even say that. The people who own it now will even say that. But I think, that's the thing is that we really, back when I first graduated, really just thought of our opportunities very linearly. Like you could only get an opportunity if you were to work at a studio or you were to teach, at a spa, or you were to teach at an apartment complex, or you were to teach. Everybody always talks about private sessions. That's where the money's at. I'm going to tell you right now, it's so hard to keep a private session because nobody really can afford to continue to pay you that every single week. I don't think private sessions are where it's at. You're like, no.
I tried.
No,
that was something I gave up on quickly.
Yeah, right. And then if you want to do like the workshop, you want to do like you want to go out and do the workshops at festivals and stuff, it's super hard to get in there. I know because I've taught at festivals, and the concessions that I've had to make to go and teach at festivals, like I never get paid. I never get paid to teach at a festival ever. I never get my travel expenses paid ever. I pay all that. My goal when I go to a festival is to try and sell my programs and acquire clients. And certain festivals, it's so I can say like, it's like getting an Academy Award as seen at Sedona Yoga Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know if they're going to invite me back this year or not. Like that's the thing is that I don't know if they will. I mean, I don't, my feelings aren't hurt because I understand when you run a festival, you actually want to have different people there. That's important. But I am going to be teaching in Pasadena at the Yoga Expo in January. And I can give you my affiliate link so you can put that in the description below. And come to the Pasadena Yoga Expo. I'm actually going to be just flying in for the day. I decided I'm not spending the night there. So I am having a get-together at the end of the festival. It's I want to say January 7th, but don't quote me on that. We'll put it in the description for sure.
Yeah.
But anyhow, they usually invite me back. But that's someone that I'm really good friends with owns that festival, and my classes are very well received and get them lots of good reviews. My classes tend to be really big there. People really like me. I'm teaching adjustments and assists at that festival in Pasadena. Yeah. People love that. They love that. That's a really good, and I have an assistant coming. So anyhow, all that stuff is like very difficult to get in. And we have the ability now to do online, which means that you are the determiner of your success in a way that we never have been able to do that before. You have to just say like, I'm going to put out a YouTube video every week and do it. And it takes a while. It will probably take a year before you get like good traction. Because you're going to have to look at a lot of different factors, like how many people are watching it, how do my thumbnails affect it, how do my titles affect it, do I have SEO-rich descriptions, how are my flows, who's my audience, what does my room look like, do I have a microphone, like how do I edit the video, all of those things. Although I will say yoga videos are the easiest to edit when it comes to YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same philosophy that we have on this podcast where once I start filming, I don't stop.
Right.
Because no one needs their yoga teacher to be perfect 100% of the time. And if you do need that, then go listen to someone else's videos.
Right.
But I'm not going to spend 5.5 hours editing a 45-minute flow.
No.
Just not going to happen.
No, not going to happen. So your flows are about 45 minutes?
Anywhere between 30 and an hour. Um,
Okay.
depending.
I
And
might go check it out. What's your YouTube channel?
my YouTube channel is Explore Inner Work Yoga,
Okay,
and my
same.
classes are all about how you can deepen your yoga practice to be not just a physical experience, but also a
Okay.
very personal
I'm gonna do
experience.
your class. I'm gonna do your class.
Yay!
See what
Yeah, give me
happens.
feedback.
Yeah.
I need
Well,
I need it.
I know everybody's like, give me feedback. I'm all like, I just want to enjoy it. You know?
Yeah. Well, anyone listening, leave me comments, leave me feedback. I want to know. I'm growing. I need I need feedback.
Comments are
I
so
love
important. People don't
they really
realize like
are.
likes and comments are super important on YouTube. So if you do have your creator that you like, and just definitely like them and comment because that's how they grow. And try not to just watch the big channels. Try to
Yes.
watch some of the smaller channels too because those people are working really hard and what I've found is that oftentimes their classes are better.
Mhm. Yeah, cuz they have to stand out more than the people who are super established.
No shade to Boho Beautiful. I do her class sometimes.
Mhm.
But they're very easy, simple flows. They're very
Yeah.
easy classes, you know? Same
Mhm.
with Yoga with Adrian. The thing that those two ladies have done really well is consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, consistency, and I think also in the case of Boho Beautiful, like not just marketing her classes, but also marketing her lifestyle. Like I know that back in the day when I was still very beginner to yoga, I did a lot of her flows because that's the level I was at. And seeing her traveling all over the world, doing her yoga classes from everywhere, was the first time that I remember going, oh, I want to do that. I
Hmm.
could totally do that.
Yeah, which is why we started the Empowered Yoga Teachers course so that people who do want to do that can do that so that they
Mhm.
can create that lifestyle for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Um,
link down below.
yes. Okay, well this leads me to um, one of the questions that I have for you. And you've talked about it a little bit with how, the in-person teaching world is really who you know and how you can get in. And so I'm curious what you think makes a really good online teacher stand out. Because
Mm.
anyone could pick up a microphone and a yoga mat and get on and put out a YouTube video. So what
Yeah.
makes you really stand out?
Well, I don't think that everyone does. That's such a great question because I feel like we talk a lot about like what makes a good yoga teacher in person, but we like never talk about what makes a good online teacher. And they are
Mm-hmm.
very different. Having taught both, it's very different, which is why you don't see me typically recording my actual classes because there's a number of things that are very different, like um, the volume of your voice. You you can't talk softly when you're teaching online. Like you have to have like a commanding voice the whole time. Like I just told you, like you've got to be closer to the microphone, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a commanding, loud voice the whole time, or people will not hear what it is that you are conveying in your videos, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that you need to be mic'd. You have to have a lavalier mic. You cannot have a boom mic. You cannot rely on your mic on your phone. That's not enough. You have to have a real microphone. In fact, if you go to amazon.com/shop/Yogalebrity, I have all of the gear that I film with. In fact, you could get these microphones that Justine and I are using right now that you could stand on top of, a plastic container or a basket. They do have the one that has the arm that you can stick onto
Mm-hmm.
things, but I wanted to have more versatility with my mic to be able to move it around the room, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, you could get this mic. It's very affordable. It was like, I think Justine's mic I just bought it the other day. It was like $31. Not expensive. But these mics won't work for teaching a class. This is a podcast mic, right? There's different ones. You have to have a lavalier mic that you can clip on. And then there's another thing too, right? So let's say you're in downward facing dog. Now your mic is a lot closer to you and you're really close to the microphone, right? Like now you have to speak a little bit lower because you're really close to the microphone. and you don't want it to get distorted. So these are like nuances that a lot of people don't realize. These are all things that we cover in the courses that I teach, but they're nuances that people don't understand that you're not taught in teacher training, because nobody's teaching how to teach online except for me. I actually don't know anybody else that's teaching it except for me.
Yeah.
And I try to look for the competition because I'm always like, what is the competition doing? You know?
Yeah, my yoga teacher training was all online, and they actually don't exist anymore because the teachers, they're a couple, and they had a baby and decided they didn't want to run their teacher training and have a baby at the same time, which super fair. But we had a business of yoga unit, and it went over things like building an email list, liability insurance, and even though we were recording classes every single module, we weren't told like the specific tips and tricks for things. And I think that's in part because they were still like, you know, they're well known, but not for putting out like YouTube videos. They're well known for the books that they write and their teacher trainings and things like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so it like brushed the surface, but really I feel like I went away with it with so many more questions, which is why I knew I needed a course to follow up that.
Yeah. So we were just talking, the Empowered Yoga Teachers course that I have been teaching has been primarily focused on teaching people how to go online. But one of the things we're considering is merging the 300-hour and the Empowered Yoga Teachers course together, so you could get your 300-hour while you get your Empowered Yoga Teachers training, and just making it so much more valuable and so much more uplifting and leveling up for people. I really like that direction. I'm going to talk to my coach about it that helps me with my advertising stuff, but and see what he thinks, which is funny. He said today, I said, how old are you? You know, because my birthday is coming up, right? And once y'all see this, my birthday will be over. We're recording the day before my birthday right now, but I think this goes in the queue sometime in December. But I asked him how old he was, and he was like, well, how old do you think I am? And I'm like, uh-oh. You know, I'm like, 37. He's like, I'm 30. And I was like, okay, well, you know, you have a beard, and so and you're dark complected, dark hair. It makes you look older. It doesn't, I'm 50. It doesn't matter, okay? It's below that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's something that we go extensively into editing. Like when you took my course, you know, like there's a whole module with many, many lessons on editing, right?
Yeah.
And what software to use and like different options with that, you know? So, it's a big part of it, you know, is being able to do that stuff. And those are skills that I think nobody else is teaching that I know of, at that level. And also like linking it to, you know, even right now, the Empowered Yoga Teachers course is 100 hours of Yoga Alliance continuing education, you know, but I think if we turn it into a 300-hour, like, and add on all the yoga teaching stuff, like that's gonna be a very powerful course. I'm pretty excited about the new year and what is coming to develop. Always getting better, right? Always getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that yoga teacher trainings in general are really weak on the business side. Really weak.
Yeah.
But that's because the teachers don't know it either.
And it's not always required. It's
not only is it not required by Yoga Alliance, but it's not allowed to be a certain amount of it. So if you want to go, like for me to teach the amount of business that I teach, my course actually has to be more hours than 300. Because you can only have 50 hours of business stuff out of that 300. So my course is actually, 100 hours of business stuff. So it's like extra, it would be extra on top of the 300 hour. So, it would have to be 50 hours extra, which honestly, you've taken my courses, you know that when I'm like, it's 100 hours, it's really like 5,000 hours worth of work.
Yeah. Like maybe 100 hours of videos to watch, plus everything you have to do outside of it, plus your weekly calls. You're getting more than you're paying for. Spoiler
Always.
alert.
Always, always. I think it should always be that way. Not whatever you
Yeah.
create too. Like whatever everybody creates, they need to create excellence because
Mhm.
you're competing against everyone else. You need to be excellent. You need to have that word of mouth. You need to get those testimonials. You need people to be like just so overwhelmed with happiness that they took your course, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, anyhow, yeah, so does that really answer your question? You want what makes
I
a
think
good
that,
online
yeah,
teacher?
that
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay,
makes a
good.
good online teacher is
Okay.
knowing how to be online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's just different skill sets that you learn. I can't tell you everything in a podcast that's an hour long,
Mhm.
but like that's why we have a course that's 100 hours long because there's a lot to
Yeah.
learn in that. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of avenues to go. There's a lot of options. They all work. The main thing that you have to remember is consistency. You just have to be
Mhm.
consistent in something. You have to put a video out every week, Justine, like that.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent in that. And the longer you're consistent, it's the people who have done it the longest that win. That's why Boho
Mhm.
Beautiful is winning. That's why Yoga with Cassandra is winning. That's why Yoga with Adrian is winning, is because they're consistent. They put out content every single week.
Yeah.
Our Adrian did every day for a long time. It's the
Mhm.
consistency that will get you there because you naturally get better at things that you're doing over time.
Yeah. And now I'm
Yeah.
sure they all have huge teams of people who are doing all of the behind the scenes work for them, and they get to record their video and send it off to a trusted assistant who edits it and puts it online for them.
Maybe sometimes
Mhm.
not. My friend, Raw Food Romance, she has no one working for her. And I think
Mhm.
that is insane.
Is she
I
a pretty
have,
big account?
oh yeah, she's huge, like way bigger than me. Way
Mhm.
bigger than me. And she has a community on top of it. They're like a
Wow.
community that has like 250 people in it. And she runs the whole thing, like moderates the comments, everything. I'm like, I want to have a life, outside of this. Um, she, boom, boom.
Just
Um,
knocking stuff over.
um, but some people just don't. I don't know. It is hard to hire people. Um, it can be very challenging to find the right people that fit with your vibe and your team. It is not something that you do right away. You have to understand your business inside and out before
Mhm.
you hire people so that you know how to give them the right expectations of what it is that you want done, you know?
Mhm.
I have 4 people on my team, right? You and Amber and Francesca and Tiana. Yeah. So, and nobody works
Mhm.
full time, but everybody just does a little bit. I even like thought about, doing like the assistant from the Philippines. That was a colossal mess. I did not. You do get what you pay for.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
hard. Everybody's like, well, if you train them to do, they'll do it. And I'm like, no. I also don't like being on like such a different time zone from people who are working with me,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyhow, also it also sits weird with me as a yogi like that lives by the 8 limbs of yoga to I know that that's their in their world that amount of payment for the work that they're doing is typical for their economy, but it just feels exploitative. That's no word. It feels exploitative to me, and so I don't really feel comfortable doing that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, well, I'm curious if you think, um, there's so many people coming out of yoga teacher trainings all the time. Do you think that people should immediately turn to the online world for becoming successful as a yoga teacher? Like, is that the direction that we're going? It's all online, or do you think that people can be full-time in-person yoga teachers these days without
I
branching
don't
off
think
into the
people could ever be full-time in-person yoga teachers. I think that's a struggle that we've always had. I think that you can't just teach classes and make a full-time living. You just can't.
Mhm.
It's not really possible physically, um, unless you have some kind of job where it's like you're, um, like I worked at a school and I taught yoga as their PE elective, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I got paid like $50,000 or $55,000 a year for that, So I think that's different. But if you can get a cool gig like that, but those are very few and far between. And again, that was a who you know. I knew
Yeah.
somebody. They didn't interview other people. They just interviewed me because of who I knew.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a really easy shoe in and I got that job. Um, the the thing is though, yes, you can go online to make your living online. And if you have a good personality for online and you vibe with students straight away and you understand like the fundamentals of social media and how to create content that is watchable, and that doesn't have anything to do with your age or your size or any of that. There are people of all kinds of sizes, all kinds of ages that are good at creating watchable content. If you don't have too much of a content curve, you can get a lot of clients early on, but you might not be good at teaching yoga. You will have to teach in person significantly for a number of years to understand different bodies, to understand how people kinetically move, to understand what people struggle with in classes, to understand when you cue something, if that works or not. So I think that while you might not make your living online straight, or I'm not, you might not make your living in person straight away, and you might make more of your living online by having really great offers, which is, what we do in the Empowered Yoga Teacher. We help you create great offers, so you might do better at that financially. Your skill set, which will allow you to become a really great teacher, is going to come from teaching people in person, not on Zoom, but like actually in the same room with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like one of the things that I have struggled with in the online world is it's so much more reciprocal in an in-person class. Like I can see if the poses that I'm giving work for the bodies of the people that I'm teaching, and I can see where modifications are needed, where adjustments are needed. And in the online world, it's all just nebulous. Like I don't know if my class, I mean, the yoga I teach is all pretty easy. I teach very gentle yoga. But I don't know if it works for people, and I don't know if I'm losing clients because I'm not offering what they need for their body. And no one, I mean, maybe some people would leave a comment being like, oh, this didn't feel good. What could I do instead? But most people are just going to turn it off and
Well,
go
they
find
won't
something
know.
else.
They won't
Mm-hmm.
know. They don't know that doesn't work for their body. They don't know
Yeah.
that the cue you gave is ineffective. They just get frustrated and say, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're in a room and you're teaching people and one person does it wrong. Okay, well, that's that person. But if you have 10 people in a room and you're teaching people and all 10 of them do it incorrectly, then it's your cueing. But you
Mm-hmm.
don't get that feedback online. Even if you're teaching on Zoom, you don't get that feedback. You definitely don't get it if you're teaching video on like YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, hard to balance that. But I love the online world. It's so nice to be able to be in pajamas, get up, put on my little yoga outfit, move. I move some of the furniture because my apartment's small, and record my video. And then it's Saturday, so I put on my pajamas again and sit on the couch and watch a movie. Whereas if I'm going to teach my classes, that's a whole extra, I'm driving, I'm talking to people before class, I'm talking to people after class.
Mm-hmm.
I teach right next to a really good taco place, so I'm going to go get tacos afterwards. And suddenly it's 3 hours of time for an hour-long class. And I'm a
Yeah.
lot more tired afterwards.
You saying that like makes me realize, like, we've never actually met in person.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I know, right? Like, wow. The number of people that I have worked with online that I've never met in person is like huge. I've worked with, you just reach so many more people online. When you think about it, we were talking about this the other day. Like, I have videos that more people have watched than went to Allegiant Stadium and saw the Billy Joel concert. You know, like when I was in the Rolling Stones concert a couple months ago, I remember looking around the room thinking, I have a reel that more people have watched than the number of people that are in this room right now.
That's amazing.
Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know, but that's the
Yeah.
power of online. And then it's limitless. There's so many people for you to reach. And then if you get into paid advertising after you have a proven offer, like, you know, which is what I do now primarily is paid advertising. I did organic for years. And I mean, this is organic content, right, that we're creating right now. So this is also drawing people in as well. But I still do organic because it establishes that you are legitimate, you know, that you're not just like a fakey fake. But it's not where the majority of my leads come from now, whereas for many years it was. But that's not true for everybody. Like my friend Raw Food Romance, Lissa, all of her leads, she doesn't do any advertising. All of her leads
Oh,
come
wow.
from organic. Yeah, she might boost a post here or there, but that's actually not very effective. So I don't think she's getting a return on her investment in that. She thinks that she is, but I do ads, so I know like I do them
Yeah.
really, really well, and I know like what kinds of ads make money and what kinds don't. And the ones she's doing do not make money. And she has no way of telling. You know, I'm like, have you ever considered like putting that into a different funnel and seeing how many people actually go through there? And she's like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
great idea. And I'm like, yeah, test it. But she doesn't. She doesn't ever do that. So. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is her organic is amazing though. She's done a really great job. She's been doing it for 10 years. So she has a really strong organic audience. She gets better at it all the time. One of the skill sets that she had though that made her really good that I didn't have that I have had to work on is photography. She was a professional photographer, and that will really help you. You know, that's a great skill set to have. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so important. And I think, I can't remember if we talked about this on a podcast or if we were just talking, but at one point you were like, people need to clean their cameras on their phones. You know, just like those little basic things that someone who's professionally trained is going to always do. They're always going to know you're always cleaning your equipment. You're always checking things. And it's hilarious. Even before this podcast, you know, I'm on my boyfriend's computer. He came in with this little cleaning cloth and a spray. He sprayed it all down for me and was like, okay, it's ready to go. But
When
those
my
little things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really important. I filmed one time at the dry lake bed, and it was sunset, and it was magic. I mean, it was so beautiful. I was like, yes, this is gonna be the greatest content ever. And I went back to look at it, and it's all hazy because my camera lens was dirty.
That is a shame.
Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way. So many lessons have been learned the hard way.
Yeah. And that's part of it. Okay, so something that's coming to my mind right now, and I've learned so much from working for you about how much structure and work and emails and funnels and all of these things come into running a successful online business. And I think that, speaking for myself and speaking for a lot of the people in my in-person yoga community, yoga teachers are not always the logical brained, sequential stepped people. So what advice do you have for people who are struggling to create their own structure to be successful online?
Yeah, it's very simple. Invest in someone who can help you. I have a coach too. I literally just outlaid another $6,000 to have somebody help me with changing my course around and taking on a new advertising venue, like a new way of advertising outside of Meta, you know, that I did not understand. And the thing is, like, how do you get where you want to go faster? You hire someone who's doing what you want to do and have them help you. Because it will take you years and lifetimes and maybe forever to figure out how to do something like, say, let's say something simple like meta advertising, or how to create a sales funnel, or what software to use. You literally just don't have the capacity to know. So if you hire someone like me, or if you don't want to hire me, you want to hire somebody else, it doesn't matter who you hire. You hire someone that you like. They're getting the results that you want to get. They're living the lifestyle that you want to live. And you check that out, because there are a lot of charlatans, and then again, that's why we create organic content, so that you have the opportunity to know, like, and trust me, so that you can spend time with me and actually be like, hey, is Angelica somebody that I want to work with? Because when you can see like long form content like this, like the podcast, you can really tell, we can't fake it. And it's too
Yeah.
long, like, this is who we are. This is what you're going to get when you come to a call.
Uh-huh.
Um, and, the thing is, like, you have to hire somebody who's doing what you want to do, and then have them help you do it. Like, we have templates that you just like enter your stuff in. We tell you how to take better pictures. We tell you how to edit your content. We tell you what steps you need to take, in what order, what's most important. How often do you need to put out content? What should it be like? Who should your customer avatar be? Who should you be focusing on? Like, we have that all laid out for you in the Empowered Yoga Teachers course. Like, you just have to decide to invest in it. And like, something you might know is like, anything like that you invest in yourself, that's a tax write-off, because you're a yoga teacher. And whether you're a sole proprietor or you have an LLC, which, a lot of people run out and get an LLC right away. And this is something I tell people in my course. My accountant said you don't need to have that until you are making a steady $50,000 a year. Underneath of that, there's really no tax benefit to you. And now you're actually paying for an LLC, where I've had people come in to like my 300-hour course, and they already have an LLC. They're paying the state of California a ton of money, and you can't get out of it because California is just like really difficult to get out of anything that you're paying them. They want to keep your money forever, And I'm just like, you never needed to do that. That was the last step. You didn't do the first step. You did the last step first. So I could have saved you money if you would have hired me first, and that's the thing that I think people don't understand, is they're so tight with their finances. They're so tight with their money, and they're in this scarcity mentality, and it just doesn't work that way. You've got to let it flow to let it grow. You have to let that money flow. You have to know that money flows in and out. It flows in and out. It's abundant. People will say to me, that you do so much for free, Angelica. You shouldn't do all that for free. You should charge for these things. Like, seriously, people say that to me all the time. And that's the in-person world mentality. And when I was in the in-person world, that was my mentality as well. And in the in-person world, that actually has to be your mentality, because you will get walked all over, which is like, if we think about like acro yoga as an example, like, most people don't have any idea that Jason Niemer is one of the co-founders of acro yoga, and that, right, your eyes were like, what, really? Because he would do these jam sessions with acro yoga and allow people to come for free. And he instead of trademarking the concept of acro yoga, he trademarked their symbol, right? And so anybody could teach acro yoga without having to have actually gone through one of their trainings. So, like, really poor business model, but not a business person, a yoga teacher, right?
Yeah.
And not a wealthy person either because of that, And so I think, all those things go into play. I'm a very successful financially person in the yoga world, which is very unusual, and I think it's because I've been very smart about, when I worked in person, I did not give out free things. When I work online, I give more. But I will say that there's also, when someone spends money with me, I'm much more likely to spend time with them. I have people who, for instance, I helped to found a nonprofit called Trauma Recovery Yoga. And I don't own any part of it, but I helped to found it and I allowed them to do their trainings at my studio. And so I gave them an incredible split. So when they would come to my studio, I would give them a 90-10. So they got 90% of the
Wow.
money that came in. I only took 10, which as a studio owner, most of the time that should be like a 60-40, you know? They get
Mm-hmm.
60, you get 40. But I did a 90-10 because I knew that people who graduated from that training were very likely to sign up for my teacher training. And so then I was going to make like 3 to 4K off of that client for a lifetime value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you're strategic about things, and then it also builds my relationship with that organization. And they're still friends with me today. I just talked to Joyce the other day on the phone. We're like, she's
Mm-hmm.
one of my best friends.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you have to be discerning, but I also think that having someone, for lack of a better word, a coach, like someone that's a mentor, that's in your trusted field that you can ask questions to, it's really super important.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that mentorship is a huge part of any level of development, and the online world is no exception to that. And I do really think that because I was the person who was like, I don't know if I want to spend money on this. Like, I really was at first a no to taking the empowered course before talking to you. And I am so glad that I did that and I learned so much. And to me, what really stands out is that there's someone on the other side of the screen who cares about you. And as long as you're doing your research and making sure that the people that you're hiring are authentic, there's going to be someone on the other side of that screen that cares, that wants you to succeed. And something that you say a lot, Angelica, that I really appreciate, and I think a lot of people don't have this mindset, is you want all of us who go through your empowered course to come out being more prosperous, making more money, being more successful than even you are. And a
Yeah.
lot of people will get stuck in that competitiveness and that scarcity mindset and maybe not elevate their students as much as they could be because they don't want their students to become their competitors.
Oh yeah, I didn't even like think about that till you said that. Because I don't like. There's so much. There's like so many places in the like the person who's going to take a class with you is not the person who's going to take a class with me. It's not the same
Mm-hmm.
person. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not even worried about that at all. Like, there's no way you will. I'm 50. I've owned 3 studios. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like there's nothing that there's just no way. Like you can't possibly. We're
Yeah.
not in the same thing.
It's so different. Like, yes, we're under the yoga umbrella, but like, you're over here, I'm over here, Tiffany's got her horses up here, Nene
Right.
is doing her American Sign
American
Language
Sign Language
classes
over
over
here.
here. Like, and that's what I love about the online world is you can be so specific in your niche. Like, I see all these
Mhm.
videos of like, oh, welcome to the side of TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is where we're, and then they list out 6 different things. I'm like, that is so specific. And you have a
Right.
100,000 views. So a
Yeah.
100,000 people are this specific into your niche with you. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
online. You can't get that in person.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have been thinking about launching another YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about launching a channel, about being 50, right? Was like one of my things. But I was also thinking about launching a channel for just chair yoga because I don't think that there's enough of that. And that would be like a
Mm,
really easy one for me to film. Um,
yeah.
but I'm also like, why do I want to add on more like organic content to work on? Like, I'm
You
already
do
like,
so much.
right? Like, I just like edited a video this morning and I, like just put another video out. And it's funny too. Like, I had a comment today and a comment yesterday. So I really try to get my videos down to like 30 seconds for maximum watch time. And which means that not everything about it can be said. And I'm not trying to teach you everything about yoga in my videos on Instagram. I that's
Mm-hmm.
that's not possible, So, what I am trying to do is give you a little bit of snippet of information and share my experience, strength, and hope, and then attract probably 1% of the people that see those videos into my courses, right? It's where I can help them because they vibe with me and I vibe with them and I find the right people, right? So that's really my goal in that. But I'm not definitely, my courses have all the information in them. I can't possibly, it's unrealistic and it's unfair to even like think that I could get everything in a 30-second video. And I had a comment yesterday and I had a comment today that were both things that like, I'm like, yeah, but this is a 30-second video. Like you're being unrealistic. They're like, well, maybe it would have been more inclusive to say a menopausal woman who's overweight. And I'm all like, no, because I put that before on something and I got completely lambasted that that's not my experience as a woman in menopause. Like you literally cannot win online. Like you have to put out the content that you feel is right with what it is that you have to say. And you have to ruthlessly edit and then just put it out there and just have it done. You cannot please everyone. You will not please everyone, And then I had somebody else today say, well, don't you think that adjustment's too much in that posture? And I'm like, for some people, yeah. But I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you know that not every person should get every adjustment. Now, I obviously can't assume that, but I can't also put that disclaimer in every single video, and it's unreasonable to ask someone to remember every single thing before they make a video. Like these are the people who are not making videos. Time and time again, I go back to those people's pages and they have almost no videos. They have a private account or their videos are really poor quality. It's just like them sped up doing their yoga practice or their dog or, their account's like very hybrid, And there's nothing wrong with posting on social media as a social media venue, but I post on social media as a business. When you go to my page, in my stories, I might post about my dog and my life, but I'm not going to put a montage of my birthday party into my feed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it's always people like that don't understand content creation that are making those kinds of comments. And I'm kind of to the point now where I just like, yesterday was very liberal with the block button,
Yeah.
I'll give them an opportunity. I might like comment back and explain. And then if I don't get a good response, if somebody just wants to argue, they're just immediately blocked. Or Instagram has this feature where you can block people from commenting. So they will still be able to see all of your stuff, but they can't comment on anything. And that is my favorite. I have 387 people on that one.
Wow. That's amazing. And does it just show up to them that it looks like the comments are off on the video, or can they read the comments?
They can read all the comments. Every time they try to comment, it just shows like an error on their side. A lot of people don't know that that's something that you can do. So they just think it's their Instagram. They think there's a glitch in Instagram. They don't know.
That's hilarious. I didn't know you could do that. I thought you could either have comments on or comments off. I didn't know you could do that for
Lissa taught me
individuals.
that. Lissa taught me that because she's had a number of really viral videos, like over 1 million. And the comment section can just get outrageous. It can just get out. It's just some people just want to fight in the comments. I don't know if they're looking for attention. I don't know. That seems like a real colossal waste of time to me.
Yeah.
To just be fighting with people in the comments. Like, why? Why are you doing that? Stupid. So I don't engage in that. I don't have time for it. I'm not making my content for people like that. Like literally, like I don't mean to be harsh when I say this, but my content is marketing. And people benefit from it and they don't buy anything from me, great. But if you hate my content and you're not going to in some way like it or comment something nice or share it or engage with it or send me good feelings and I send you good feelings in return, or you sign up for one of my courses, you don't have to, but if it just like if your vibe isn't positive in my ecosystem, I'm not doing this for you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have social media until I started this business. I didn't have an Instagram account. I didn't have a Facebook. I didn't have any of that stuff. I had closed all of that stuff down in 2020, you know?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't interested in it at all. I don't want a social media. I only want to market.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to meet my tribe. I want to meet, for lack of a better word, I don't really like saying that. I want to meet my tribe. I don't really like that, but I want to like meet the people I vibe with. I want to meet my
Yeah.
vibration, you know? Like I want to meet people like you, people like Francesca, people like Amy, people like, Nene, people like um Lay, like
Mm-hmm.
people who I really enjoy being around, and
Yeah.
elevate my life and make it more interesting and more exciting and share the things that I've learned with people who are going to benefit from it. And if you're not one of those people, it's okay. I am not mad at you, but you're blocked from commenting.
I love that.
I don't need to hear. This is one of the things that me and my partner struggle with a lot is that I don't need to hear the devil's advocate side. If you are a high performer, like I have always been my entire life, even before I did yoga and I worked in corporate, if you are a high achieving, high performing, high results person, you do not think of what could happen that's bad. You don't
Mm-hmm.
think of the negative. You don't think of the devil's advocate. You don't prepare for the worst case scenario. You are constantly preparing for the best case scenario. You are constantly focused on the solution. You're never worried
Mm-hmm.
about what bad might happen because you already know that there's nothing really bad can happen. Because
Yeah.
everything that happens that's not effective, then we just need to find a way to make it effective. Right. And it's like I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to my coach this morning. One of the things I really struggle with clients at times is that, they're focused on the wrong things. When you're making content, your focus should not be how big is my stomach. Oh my gosh, my arms look really fat in that picture. Your focus needs to be how effective was my hook? Did my CTA get people to click? Which videos are
Mm-hmm.
performing well? How can I replicate that? What do I
Yeah.
need to put in the caption to get it to reach out to more people? How do I find out the best searches that the people who are in my niche are doing? These are the questions you should be having. It doesn't matter if your hair was done. You know what I'm saying?
No one cares. Yeah.
Yet not successful people don't,
Yeah.
because done is always more profitable than perfect. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what you look like. It matters, is it getting you results?
Yeah.
And that's where people get really caught up in this perfectionism and like, I have to be perfect and my video has to include everyone that might possibly be included in that body type. And we have to be all like totally PC and we have to do this all exactly the way that it's, you have to think of every potential side, like if you do that, you will get stuck creating nothing. You will create
Mm-hmm.
nothing. So when people come at me, well, you didn't include everybody, or that's not right for this. And I'm just like, well, girl, listen, okay. I got this video out. If you don't like it, you're welcome to scroll on by, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't
Yeah.
even say that anymore. Like as soon as somebody comes at me, like something rude, they're immediately comment blocked. And if they really piss me off, they're blocked. Like
Mm-hmm.
100% blocked.
Yeah.
And sometimes me and Alyssa do what we call pre-blocking. So if we see somebody in the comments section of somebody else's video that's kind of a jerk, we pre-block them just so they'll never see our content.
That's awesome.
I
I
love
love that.
pre-blocking. Pre-blocking is a vibe. These are content creator problems, like when you
Yeah.
go online, you start to understand these things. And this is how you protect yourself emotionally from haters. But I will say you don't want to just block the haters. Like that's why I comment block them.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that
Yeah.
on you can do that on YouTube too, like really well. Like on YouTube, you can block someone so that they think that their stuff is being seen, but it's being seen by no one but them. YouTube is amazing for that. If you can pre-do it, like you can preset your
Yeah.
feature so that like their comments never ever seen by anyone. It's
That's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
learning
amazing.
so much.
I know, I love this stuff. This is how you
And
protect yourself emotionally.
and every now and then I do feel like there's going to be someone who's going to leave a really good comment that's going to just be a great learning opportunity. Cuz we're all going to make mistakes, and if you're worried about putting out content that's going to be completely perfect, you're never going to put it out. And there's
Mhm.
going to be people out there with really good intentions who are going to leave a comment that's going to help you level up as well.
Well,
And
sometimes
it's
I
not going to be
do
as
find
often.
right, it's not going to be as often. I always respond back one comment with compassion and assume
Mhm.
that they didn't mean that the way it came across, that it might be my brain reading it a certain way in a negative veil that isn't accurate.
Yeah.
And so I'll give them one comment and I'll comment back, well, this is what I really meant by this. Thank you so much for your comment.
Mhm.
And if they comment back something nice, they get to stay. If they comment back something not nice, they're gone. Because
Mhm.
I don't have time for that negativity in my life. Like, I know that sounds like very like Kim Kardashian. I don't even like, why did the Kardashians just get mentioned on my podcast?
They're everywhere.
Do you know there's a block? You can block them from ever showing up on your phone. There's like a block. I set it up a long time ago. I don't
Of
even
course you
remember how to
can.
do
Yeah.
it, but they're blocked.
That's hilarious.
It was like an app or something. I don't know, but I put it in there. It was like never show them and ever. But basically, like you don't have time for that negativity. There is just so little space. Like,
Mhm.
and that's why I had to like really retrain my partner on that because he grew up in a household that everything was the worst case scenario. Everything was the devil's advocate. Everything was like, well, this could happen, which then stopped them all from ever following their dreams or doing anything that they wanted to do in life, you
Yeah.
know? And that's a real struggle, you know? And you got to surround yourself with people that are only thinking about the positive. That's another thing that's really great about the Empowered course is that you're just surrounded by people who are constantly in the solution. So if you're at a loss for like, what is the solution to this? There are people in there that have that for you. And that I
Mhm.
even get that from people too in the course, like I think
Yeah.
that it's a big think tank. So I love it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyhow, we've gone over our time, and I want to do other things today, and you want to do other
Mhm.
things today. I know you're finally like off for the week, so
Yeah. I'm
um,
driving back to Flagstaff today for the break.
oh, you're gonna be closer to me.
Yeah. Only
Yeah,
4 hours
I
away.
know. We would only be 4 hours away. I'm like, should I just get in my car and drive to the Grand Canyon and be like, let's meet halfway in
I would
Williams.
meet you there. I would.
Go out to dinner in Williams.
That would be hilarious.
I
Podcast
know.
will let you know if that happens.
How long are you there for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'm there till Friday. We're gonna drive back Friday evening.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Awesome. Your family lives in Flag. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah.
We thought
Yeah,
about
that's where I
moving
grew up.
there. We thought about moving there. That was one of the places on our list, but the cost of living is just way too high.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
It's way too high.
we live in the house that my mom grew up in. So when my mom, who is, I think she's gonna be, gosh, is she gonna be 60 this year? She might be turning 60 this year.
Oh, that's a big one. You need to
Yeah,
find out because if she
she's
is,
either,
you
yeah.
got to celebrate that because I was underwhelmed at the level of celebration for my 50th. And
Hmm.
it really, like, honestly broke a couple of friendships for me because I felt like, I had a couple people that canceled on my party like
Yeah.
30 minutes before. And I was like just crying and super
Oh.
sad because, you're like, you get to a signature birthday like that. And you're like, wow, I've gotten to 50 and I can't even put together 7 people to have brunch with me to
Hmm.
celebrate the big 50. I just really
Yeah.
didn't think that it would be like that. And then on top of that, I know this isn't relevant to you, but I'm just going through. absolutely awful menopausal symptoms, not getting good sleep at night, waking up like 4, 5, 6 times at night. And you can't like set the temperature right. You can't set the temperature right because if you make it too cold, you'll have the hot flash. It'll keep you cool during the hot flash. But then as soon as the hot flash is over, you're cold because you have sweat on you and now it's turned cold. So you can't keep the room warm. You can't keep it cold. There's like no satisfaction. And I've always been a person that sleeps like straight through the night. This waking up like 6, 7 times a night, it's so, you're an absolutely terrible person the whole next day. I'm angry and irritable all of the time. You know, I'm like, gosh, am I legitimately mad at this thing or is it just the hormones? You know?
Or both.
You can't drink anymore. Mad. You cannot drink. Don't have a drink. It's instant hot flashes. It's going to be awful. You can't drink anything. And I love wine. It's made me so sad. I'm from Las Vegas. I love alcohol. You got to be like so on top of your diet in a way that I never have before. You know? I hate it. I'm like a pizza and macaroni and cheese vegetarian.
The best kind of vegetarian, in my opinion.
When they came out with those, like back in the day, when I first became a vegetarian, we just had tofu. That's it. There was just tofu. You know, I was 11 years old. And so I ate a lot of sides. You know, I'm always like, the steakhouse is great because they got all the sides. They got the potato. We just went yesterday to a barbecue place and I got a potato and I got macaroni and cheese and I got beans and I got a junky salad, you know, like iceberg lettuce, you know, and I'm like, can I have Thousand Island and blue cheese? You know, like the total junky vegetarian. Right. So don't hate me. It's why the menopause symptoms are so bad. They could be better. Anyhow, but it's so, you can't do that now. Like I was able to pretty much get rid of my hot flashes earlier this year when I was doing 75 hard, and we are starting again. I don't know if that's something that has any interest to you at all, Justine, but Francesca and I are starting 75 hard January 1st again.
I'll do it with you.
Oh my gosh, yes, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to tell her. The more people that do it, the better it is. In fact, I was thinking about like putting on my Instagram and being like, hey, does anybody want to join our 75 hard group like for free? Just so that we can all do it. Okay, I'll put that in my Instagram stories today. Anyhow, I'll make a link and you can join. We'll put it in the description. You can join our 75 hard group. I'll just put it on our community. Like, why not? You know, like in the yoga teachers group, right? So, or I could just make a whole new...
all get a little bit better.
Yeah, right? I'll just make a whole new community. Anyhow, yeah, right? Like, the more of us that we have doing 75 hard, the better it's going to be. So, I'll make a community. We can all join. It's totally free. It's just to support each other, you know, because we're actually going for Live Hard, which is a year-long program. But the first phase is 75 hard. And then after 75 hard, you do 30 more days where they add on a few more tasks. So it's like 75 hard is twice a day, 45-minute workout. One of them has to be outside. You read 10 pages of a book every day. You stay on a healthy diet. It doesn't matter what the diet is. It just has to be healthy. No cheat meals. So no like sweets, no cakes, none of that. No sugar, which is rough, right?
Yeah.
And no alcohol, which is also sad, but you'll make it. Because I did 75 hard this year and I made it. I was all right. I have a wine advent calendar. So every day it's like a new wine for the month of December. So I'll finish that. And then...
then you'll be all done.
So then once that 75 hard is done, and you take a progress picture every day. You miss any one of those things, you have to start back at day 1. So once that's done, then you, if you want to do Live Hard, but it will change your life. It changed my life. Like,
no, I was just talking to someone on Friday who said that it changed we were talking about their twin brother. Totally different person afterwards, like struggling with so much stuff for so long. Did 75 hard, totally up-leveled their life. I'm going to practice. I'm going to walk around all weekend just holding this, talking to everyone.
Yeah, you do have to be really close to the podcast microphone.
Yeah.
It's not like a lavalier. Anyhow, so then you could do Live Hard with us if you want to. And I will finish up really quickly. I just want to explain what this is. So after the 75 hard, Live Hard is 3 30-day increments. So you do the first 30 days. A lot of people do it like straight after 75 hard. And you do all the things from 75 hard, plus you have to take a 5-minute cold shower, which that was the hardest part when I started to do phase one. I was like, I hate this. I decided not to finish phase one because of my birthday. And then because also Francesca was like, let's start together again and do Live Hard next year. And I was like, you know what, girl, actually that works for me because it's just better with timing and stuff. So, and then you have to have a power list. So 3 additional things that you do. So like one of my things was spend time doing 1 lesson of Spanish every day. And my Spanish got way better in that time, you know? So you just pick like 3 things like that. Or maybe it's like you take 1 sales call, or you make one part of a YouTube video, you know, like you're working on your channel, right? And then you have to wait 30 days before you can do the next 30 days, which just is another round of 75 hard. And but not 75 hard, but like 30 days of what you would do in 75 hard. Okay. And then your 30 days leading up to when you started 75 hard the last year, those 30 days leading up to it, you do another 30 days, and then you do all the things from 75 hard plus all the things from phase one, plus you add on like you have to talk to a stranger every day. You have to do a random act of kindness every day, and it can't be the same thing, and it can't be contrived. But anyhow, it's all built to like for mental toughness. It's not sure there's physical things about it. And it does help you physically 100%. I lost 12 pounds when I was on 75 hard, which being in menopause, my menopausal ladles, you're probably like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You will get toned up, whatever, because you're not eating junk and you're working out, you know? Mm-hmm. But the main thing for me was the catapulting of my business. And that's where the Empowered Yoga Teachers course actually came. The brainchild from that was during 75 hard. Whoa. And I feel like I really let go of a lot of imposter syndrome this year. In fact, so much so that my coach said to me this morning when I talked to him, he was like, you're going to do so well in our program because you don't have any imposter syndrome. You know what your worth is. You know that you're good at this, and you know you can help people. And that came from 75 hard. I'm telling you right now. Like, it will rock your world. So I'm excited you want to do it. I can't wait to get off of this and text Francesca. But I don't want to take any more of your day off. Enjoy your drive to Flagstaff. You've given me something to think about. I'm like, should we drive to Flag? Right? I'm all like, we could do the webinar together.
That would be so fun.
Would that be cool?
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Do they have any snowstorms coming? Because I don't want to drive in the snow.
I know that it's supposed to snow here in Durango this week, but I'm not sure about
I'm going to look it up. Anyhow,
yeah.
Girl. You have a great night.
Thank you.
And
you too.
A safe drive. And text me. Let me know that you got to Flagstaff okay.
I will.
Okay. All right. Everybody, thank you for listening to the podcast. Just like normal, share the show. Please share the show. Please leave us a 5-star review and definitely subscribe so that you can see the show again next week. Everything that we just talked about is in the description, so go there. All right. Thank you so much, Justine. Have a great drive.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.